Well, good morning, everybody. Hmm. This is Justice's Waiting Room. This is a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. S&M, Dubs, TikTok. We're back. We were banned for a week. Typically, you get banned for like a month. But I was talking about Fortnite strategy. So this situation that we find ourselves in, man, it's sort of embarrassing to a degree because as a veteran whose entire family is like law enforcement, it's being made a mockery of. So I just wanted to do a little Googling today. Okay, everybody wants to know where my head is. How many people live in the greater Los Angeles area? 20, yeah, 20 million, 18.42 million. So I want to start by saying, what kind of fucking idiot sends ice into a city of 18 million people? Oh, Stephen Miller. And then also, so they're horrifically outnumbered. They don't have real bullets in their guns. They had rubber bullets and riot gear, and there's not that many of them. So when they get rebuked by the locals, they had to call in local police just to make sure that ICE didn't get their ass kicked. By the way, they got backed into a corner. That's what happened because they didn't have real guns. They didn't have real bullets in their guns. And then yes, Donald Trump tried to federalize the National Guard. Yeah, the governor has to sign off on that. The governor said that the protest was nonviolent and that they were instigated. So the National Guard, again, you cannot rule by fiat. You can't just say things and they happen. That's not how it works. Okay? Donald Trump does not have the power to sick the U.S. military on its own people. The governor is correct. The protests were nonviolent. ICE came in and instigated shit, and they got backed into a corner, and then they came back in riot gear, and they didn't have real bullets in their fucking guns. I watched them open up on a protester and shoot him in the chest and head, like 8 to 10 times. Rubber fucking bullets. You pussies. You larpers. And then yes, I did see, yeah, and keep in mind they're deputized, but it just shows that they're governed by a pussy, by an impotent little bitch, Stephen Miller. Elon, it's bad enough that Elon Musk is fucking his wife, right? It's bad enough that Elon Musk is fucking Stephen Miller's wife, but Stephen Miller doesn't have the fucking balls to send ICE into LA with real bullets in their guns. And instead, you left them horrifically fucking outnumbered, horrifically outnumbered to the point they had to call in for police backup when they got rebuked by the fucking locals, as they fucking should be. They do not have a warrant. They do not even have real bullets in their guns. They're LARPing. They're pretending. These are people that law enforcement agencies would never fucking hire in a million goddamn years. This is the low rung on the fucking totem pole. And if you're an ICE member, do you know how motherfucking stupid it is for y'all to be conducting these raids in fucking greater Los Angeles area with 18 plus million fucking people? This ain't Cleveland. Yeah, Tish, that was the first story I shared in the chat. It doesn't show up here, but I just wanted to point out, consider that ICE is deputized so that they absolutely could have shown up yesterday with live rounds and didn't. They're a bunch of fucking wannabes and LARPers. And again, I want to make sure I say, like, the LARPing community is friendly. Hmm. Yeah, the actual problems were not during the protests. The actual problems started after the protest was over and the crowd had dispersed and there were no issues. Nobody asked me how my experience was protesting here in Indy. I'll tell you. So I always show up fucking early, hoorah, so that you could get eyes on and scope the area out. And I walked through where the protest was gonna occur, and I saw a cop fucking rubbernecking, and I just walked straight at him until he ducked back behind a fucking fountain. Like, hey, it's super sus. You fucking wanna be, right? Stand on the outside looking in, right? Harboring fucking ill will. You know that I've felt a healthy level of camaraderie my whole life with like other vets, especially because I was in the Marine Corps infantry. So I'm the fucking big dick in the room, right? Now there will always be people that have like more time in service, more deployments, more rank, right, and relevance. Sure. But when you talk generally with somebody who's in the service, they're super fucking proud of their service. They'll bring it up in conversation, and I say, "Oh, you were in the military. Thank you so much for your service." And they're like, oh yeah, no problem." And I'm like, "I was in the Marine Corps infantry, so I love helping my fellow veterans." They get real quiet after that, real humble. Hmm. Well, consider that the governor has to sign off on the standing up and federalizing of the National Guard, and he didn't. I don't expect anything to happen. So I know that everybody out there is super fucking nervous. But the reason I was bringing that up is like when you talk to other service members, there's like a healthy level of camaraderie, right? But when you're a civilian, like you didn't serve, I've only ever felt disrespect. You get it? When I talk to another veteran, it's dick measuring, it's camaraderie, it's, oh, we're gonna be friends no matter what. At least that's the way I thought it was supposed to work. Okay. But what I've got is disdain, hmm from civilians whenever they find out, especially people on the right. They've developed a disdain for education. They've developed a disdain for service. They've developed a disdain for things like being athletic as you age. You know, as one of the things that, as I got older, I still played in softball leagues and volleyball leagues and basketball leagues and flag football leagues. Until you just get to a certain point, you'll feel like you have anything left to prove, right? And that you can't possibly continue to do this to your body. You're too old, you old man, right? Maybe I'll play basketball one day. I'll get back in shape and play. But it's just a little nugget for you when you ask, how did your protests go? I was early slash on time. So when it started on time, the nice man in the Air Force dress uniform that spoke to an empty crowd. And I walked the perimeter because I'm an infantryman, and that's what the fuck you're supposed to do. Check our fucking rear. And by the time that guy got done speaking and people started walking up to the protest, I went and shook some hands and left, and was like, okay, I came, I saw, I conquered, I whatever. It was very quiet. Yeah. I mean, the video that I posted, again, I posted a video yesterday on YouTube that I didn't intend to post to the internet. I was just going to share it with the Discord of me walking up to the protest at the state capitol, or at the state building here, 200 West Washington Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. Um, but if you go watch that video, you can hear how quiet it is, how few people there were for a Friday day. And then as we round the corner and walk up the little hill towards the front steps, and you can see all those like vendor tents set up, and you can see the guy in the uniform's about to get up there and talk. And then, like I said, as soon as I, crested, I could see off in the distance a fucking cop rubbernecking and shit. And I was just like, what the fuck? That has some fucking mass shooter shit written all over it. And I just walked him down, walked straight at him, like, fuck you looking at? And he ducked behind a fountain. And then a lady crossed in front of me out of nowhere, and she looked like an event organizer. And she went up and talked about the permits that they had. And I was just like, like, you see what kind of, even at the cellular level, problems we have, right? Fucking crazy. And again, nothing fucking happened. The protest took place on a work day, so I'm sure many people showed up after I left, and there were people showing up as I was skedaddling. But again, I had other shit I wanted to do. I'm absolutely the kind of person to show up early on time, get soak it in before everybody gets there, because I've worked security for like a decade. And so I'm gonna pace the perimeter and see if where's the eyeballs, right? Where's the sniper, right? Not that there was a sniper in here. Straight out of the TikTok shop. So I want to point out that any movement to delegitimize Donald Trump's presidency from Elon Musk or anyone associated is part of the plan. So make sure when you're telling this story to your kids in the future that you say, Project 2025, the entire purpose of Project 2025 was to backdoor JD Vance into the presidency using the 25th Amendment. We want to make sure we say that with our whole chest. Like, the ICE raids in LA scream Stephen Miller and impotency. How the fuck you gonna send in ICE unarmed? They had rubber fucking bullets. They got backed into a corner and had to throw on fucking riot gear, call in the fucking police to help them, and obviously the president of the United States thinks he can federalize your National Guard without the governor's say. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that yes, Donald Trump said that he's federalizing the National Guard in response to the riots in LA. But the fucking governor of California said that those protests were peaceful. No. So I get it. Y'all want to live in the sensationalist media landscape where what Donald Trump says is what happens. But you are not living on Earth because on the fucking contrary, Donald Trump is full of fucking shit. So no, I don't know who that is. I'm not defending ICE. Are you what? Stephen Miller's impotent ass sent ICE in outnumbered to the point where they had to call for police backup and then he tried to federalize the National Guard. I'm literally telling you what happened, and you're making assertions that I would have snitched on Anne Frank and that I support ICE. Are you stupid? Here, let me help you find the exit. Good luck with that. Kevin Garcia said 4th Marine Division. Hey. Yeah, that's that. Hey, that's what Donald Trump said. That's what Donald Trump. He tried to do it with the executive order yesterday. Hmm. Again, I just want to make sure you can't federalize the National Guard without the governor's signature. And Governor of California said the protests were peaceful. ICE was out of pocket. ICE is LARPing. They don't have warrants, nor do they have real bullets in their guns. I watched videos yesterday of ICE pulling a pistol on somebody. They were pointing a pistol at you, and it has rubber bullets in it. They're LARPing. Hmm. They're seeing what they can get away with in your communities. Shout out to Minneapolis and fucking Los Angeles for sticking up for themselves and standing up for their community members. I watched ICE shoot non-lethal grenades at an SUV with a live action role playing. It's an actual thing and also a derogatory term for people that are pretending to do something that has significance. For example, people play cops and robbers as kids. That's LARPing, live action role playing. Anyone posting that the protests were not peaceful is a stone cold block. I'm not even acknowledging your shit. The governor of California said the protests in LA were peaceful yesterday. It wasn't until the crowd dispersed that ICE showed up and intervened. hmm And ultimately pussied the fuck out and got backed into a fucking corner and had to throw on their fucking riot gear and shoot non lethal rounds because they're totally pussies. And it screams Stephen Miller's impotent ass. This has Stephen Miller all over it. Hell yeah, Mama Lala. Hell yeah, people hate. I fucking love California. Live and die in LA, baby. It's just the smog, to be honest with you. And the cost of living is the only reason I don't live in LA. Just being honest. I had to just stop smoking cigarettes. I'm a giant pussy. Hmm. I'm gonna say this the dumbest shit I've ever said in my adult life. A long time ago, I was doing stand-up comedy, and I planned to do it before I started doing it. So I went to LA not to go up on stage. That would be lying. I went out there to like hang out with people that are in comedy, like that have a career. So I have spent a little time in like the greater Los Angeles area. I do have a great appreciation. Like if I wasn't a Pacers fan, I would be an LA fan, a Lakers fan. Because I'm not a fucking Celtics fan. So sorry, Bob. I would be wearing an Indiana hat today because it's fucking game two. Moved to Tijuana. hmm Yeah, been to Mexico a couple times. Love Mexico too. Really love Mexico. Mexico's fucking beautiful. Yeah. I hope they're threatening to withhold federal taxes from the government. So just know Donald Trump always chickens out. And him and Stephen Miller, their hands are all over this ICE shit. I just want to point out that when you send ICE into Los Angeles, where ICE is heavily outnumbered and they don't have real bullets in their guns, you're outnumbered. You're going to get rebuked by the community. You're going to get backed in a corner throwing your fucking riot gear. But oh, by the way, rubber bullets. hmm Yep. And don't worry, I saw the video of a helicopter dropping off what appeared to be ammunition. Uh-huh. And I just want to point out what kind of fucking person wants to fire on other American people. It's one thing to LARP. It's one thing to want be a wannabe. Because you know what I've met my whole fucking life? A bunch of fucking wannabes. Especially in that law enforcement security sphere. A lot of people that didn't serve, but are the totally kind of people that are like, I would have served, but I would have broken a drill instructor's jaw for talking to me. And it's like, yeah, bitch, you'd have getting fucking thrown around. But in fairness, the streets need to be honest about what's really going on. It's not all on Leos. The protests were not violent, so I don't know what this is implying. The governor of California said the protests yesterday were nonviolent and that the federalizing of the National Guard was unnecessary. And he doesn't sign on for that, which is required, by the way. So the president did not federalize the National Guard because he can't unless the governor of that state signs on. But yeah, but in fairness, we need to talk about how these protests were not violent because I don't know what this is. There you go. There you go. They weren't violent. ICE interrupted a graduation. ICE was violent. They had rubber bullets and they're giant pussies and they were LARPing, which again, you aren't understanding that as an insult. And so there's a disconnect. The audience is like, oh, he's saying they were kidding. No, they're LARPing. They're wannabes. They're fucking they don't have a warrant. They don't have real bullets in their guns. They're playing cowboys and fucking Indians. Does that make sense? Like, yes, they're fucking awful. Weak and powerless and getting backed the fuck down to the point where they have to call for police backup. They're not actually conducting like authorized law enforcement activities. They're LARPing. They're pretending. Also completely illegal. Yes. I'm not disagreeing, Crystal. I'm not saying it wasn't legal. Yeah, beach lady. They were burning cars and attacking police. Jesus Christ. Y'all are just Kegseth. Yeah. Whiskey Leaks said he's gonna call in the Marines. Good luck. And I'll just tell you, when you hear the mobilization of the National Guard 2000, just know there are millions of people on active duty in the National Guard in the United States, and 2000 of something is oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. ISIS pathetic. Yeah. $23,000. $23,000 to be deputized U.S. Marshals with rubber bullets and riot gear pretending. hmm You can't declare martial law. I just want to point this out. The President of the United States cannot declare martial law. Congress has to approve it, and they're not going to. He can declare it all he wants, but nothing happens. Yeah, Trump's a big pretender too. Keep in mind, I just want to keep this in mind. Immigration's at an all-time low. I also want to point out that the United States is a nation of immigrants. Immigrants built this fucking country, and if you, especially if you're a white or, well, actually, I have to say it, if you're white or black, you're an immigrant to the United States. The only people that are in the United States that aren't immigrants are Indians. And I'm talking about the feather, not the dot. So it's fucking bizarre to me when anyone in the United States that isn't an American Indian, because at least if an American Indian is anti immigrant, that makes sense. My brain would be like, man, it's awful unfortunate that they're like that, but at least it tracks. At least that makes sense. It makes no motherfucking sense at all, when a person that is either lacking it or has too much melanin, yes, and Native American, yes, the indigenous folk, mm-hmm, yep. Other than that, you're an immigrant, yep, your whole bloodline, everybody that you know, yep. Every white person you know has a relative that's not from here. Uh-huh. Like Donald Trump. His whole family's from Germany. Go fucking figure. Captain Poopy Pants. Remember major drinking problem? Make it mostly mixed. Okay. Norwegian and Irish here in North Carolina. See, at least you acknowledge that you're an immigrant and you don't spend your time and energy hating people that just because they're fucking immigrants, right? At least you can acknowledge that, right? 23andMe, right? And Mexicans are mostly mixed. Yeah. So still, Uh, if you're notice I said black and white. I didn't specifically say brown, right? Because first of all, large portions of the United States historically aren't in the United States. That's Mexico. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Much of American territory is stolen land. Uh-huh. As that statement's justified by whole states giving back whole big ass pieces of land. Mhm. Yes. Mostly what I was going to say was there can't be immigrants on stolen land. So I know it's crazy to hear a white person say it. hmm I know. But somebody has to start the fucking conversation that way. hmm US is on the do not travel list. Oh, for sure. So, happy Sunday, everybody. We were a little late live today. Wanted to wait until the TikTok ban was up. TikTok did not like my Fortnite strategy. I used terms and principles and things that I learned on active duty in the Marine Corps Infantry, and they did not like that shit at all. They told my agent 1 week, shut his ass up, stop talking about that shit. So yeah, my piece de la resistance today. These ice raids in Los Angeles scream impotent, and they make me think of Stephen Miller. So every time I see Stephen Miller, all I'll be thinking about, unfortunately for me, is that Elon Musk is fucking his wife. And that is why he's so angry right now. And I know he don't like that shit. I know, um, bitch, he stole your man. That's what the fuck happened. And he has no balls. So instead of him confronting Elon Musk, he sent ICE to their doom. I just want to let you know that if I worked for you and you sent me to California into Los Angeles, into those neighborhoods with rubber fucking bullets and riot gear, I'd quit. I would never have done that in a million fucking. Are you out of your fucking mind? You're gonna get us killed. You're gonna get ICE. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The first person to die in this mess will be an ICE agent. Yes, people have died in custody and shit, and I'm telling you, the communities are standing up. Those motherfuckers do not have a warrant, and they don't have fucking real bullets in their guns. They're LARPing. They're fucking pretending. They're not hireable at literal anywhere else. Just so y'all know, the U.S. military is not trained for martial law and firing on Americans. They're not. They're not. They're not for that. That's not what we're for. The 2000 was the giveaway. Just so you all know, where it was like in L.A. If it's really the battle for Los Angeles, I'm federalizing 2000. That's how motherfucking stupid you are. If it's not 250,000, you're stupid. Yep. And again, I'm not saying to react violently. I'm just pointing out, hey, they don't have a warrant and they're using rubber bullets. What the fuck are we doing? Do you know what I'm saying? This is silly. This is how people die. You want to know how people die in LA? I was a 0351 in 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marines Weapons Company, the most combat deployed unit in Marine Corps history, ma'am. So after I block you for calling me a fucking pogue with your 48 followers. Seriously? Nah. Mm-mm. I can promise you how fast ICE got back down that they don't have the training. They don't have the reps in. Mm-mm. They don't observe rank and file. They're not closing and firing. Like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing at all. They're not cordoning off areas. They're not running security. They're not on patrol. They're not doing nothing. They're often caught alone. They reach. They reach. That's one of the things you'd never fucking do. See, one of us actually has a training for this and can tell you they don't train active duty for martial law. Unprepared is what I'm saying is. Yep. but you see a lot of people getting way out over their feet. And I'm telling you, step in, left hook. We've got banned for this before too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But as long as they don't have real bullets in their guns. Fucking LARPers. Once you go back to playing airsoft. Look at this shit. Look how close they're standing together. You know how I know they're not prepared? They're standing close, too close together. If one stands up, they all might. We stand the citizens of LA and a free nation. Yeah, for sure. No, I don't think that um, you should be forced to carry around documentation in the United States. Remember that deportation is a legal process. It's actually kind of boring. And I say that with all due respect to people that are in danger of being fucking deported. They don't typically uh, harshly arrest you. They don't show up at your fucking deportation hearing that you won, by the way, and arrest you. It's not sexy. There's a reason this shit is stupid looking. And you're like, Jared, this doesn't make any fucking sense. What I'm seeing on fucking TV doesn't pass any frame of logic. Look who's in charge. Look who's in fucking charge. And by the way, I want to point out following orders is not a defense. Not a defense. Yeah, that's how it looks when you give power and lights. We got hit by a tornado last night, 2:30 a.m. Oh my God, 2:30 in the morning. Jesus. Well, my boss lives in Texas. That makes me realize why he was so nice to me at the end of work last night, because he knew he was about to get hit by a tornado. Hell yeah. Fox News got kicked to the curb in LA. Fuck Fox News too. No power since 2:30 a.m. Hey, if I can share anything with the viewers of my show is y'all need to look at Ryan Hall on Twitter on Jesus. Ryan Hall, y'all. He's one of my favorite follows. I'll share his latest in the chat so you could look at it. Yeah, Fox News. I need that on a shirt, by the way. Where's my clothing maker? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I need Fox News on a shirt. Looks like the plan's now in motion. Plan's now in motion. This shit has been in motion. They think they're winning, by the way. They think they're winning. I just want to point this out there. Executive orders and presidential orders are not law. And if you're acting on behalf of the president using an executive order or presidential order as the reason that you do something, that isn't defensible in a court of law. And very likely the federal judge that gets your case is going to say, honey, I was following orders is not a defense. So all these ICE agents out here acting like idiots, breaking the fucking law, kidnapping and trafficking are real fucking crimes. Oh, by the way, ICE agents have already been charged. I don't know if we talked about that, but that was a while back. But to act like there isn't even precedent of that, it's like they have no fucking training at all. They're not ready. They're outnumbered. They don't have brill bullets in their guns. Their riot gear was clean. They're not using it. They're not doing anything. See, the problem is that there really aren't that many people that sit around and dream about conducting acts of violence on American citizens. Because for most of us, there are consequences for our actions. The only people out here calling for violence on Americans are people that would never do it themselves, that are too weak to do it themselves. All these billionaires, Peter Thiel, David Sachs, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, I already said that, Mark Zuckerberg. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. The border wasn't unsafe. The problem with the border to the United States is that it is treacherous by nature because it is basically a desert. And there's not good traversing paths, right? Yeah. Somebody brought up Curtis Yarvin. Yeah. Curtis Yarvin is the blogger brainchild hmm of this accelerationist what are they? Technocrats. They actually, with the wall, they actually made portions of the border less safe because there are easier ways to cross and they blocked those off. So and the thing about it is people that are coming to the United States across the border have nothing and are coming here for a better way of life. And I think that's the most romantic shit ever. Okay. And I also want to point this out because a lot of people are talking some shit and saying, America ain't shit. But this is the greatest country in the fucking world. It's just we don't take care of shit. That's the problem. People really, really come here and wanna like make a better life for themselves, regardless of how you fucking feel about this place. And lots of places in the world are way fucking worse. So I know that shit is rough, but like you should have a stiff upper lip because these motherfuckers are soft. These motherfuckers do not have real bullets in their guns and they don't have fucking warrants. They're operating on very, very loose jurisdiction and they are led by impotent fools. I say it with my full chest. Stephen Miller is watching Elon Musk fuck his wife every night when he lays down to go to sleep. Every time Stephen Miller closes his eyes, his wife is getting bent over by Elon. And for those of you throwing up in your mouths a little bit, botched penis surgery. Told Elon he'd come to. Yeah, Vladimir Putin told Elon Musk he could have immunity in Russia. In Russia. But yeah, every time I see Stephen Miller, I'm like, he doesn't have any kids of his own. He's impotent. I mean, I see the same thing when I look at Elon Musk. But the difference is that we know that he has 14 children by three women and only ever fucked one. What? Impotent. You see the Homan, the fucking leader of DHS, is like, I'm demanding everybody stop disrespecting ICE. I have absolutely zero respect for ICE or an ICE agent or ICE as an entity. I do not recognize their authority. They do not have a warrant. They do not have real bullets in their guns. So every time you see them pull a gun on someone, just understand that that doesn't even have real bullets in it. They aren't authorized for lethal. And I did also see a helicopter yesterday drop off what appears to be ammunition. hmm Crazy Cindy said, I heard Israeli troops are coming to LA. Come on. Again, you don't want to do this. You, LA is the wrong city in the wrong state. But again, Battle for LA is a fucking movie, And there's a high likelihood that Donald Trump has seen the battle for Los Angeles recently, and he's now hell bent on war in LA. Yeah, yeah. I knew we were gonna get restricted for saying that, for sure. The actions in this live could result in serious injury or adverse health effects. What? We're gonna go ahead and restart that shit. What? What? Yeah. A lot of people are freaking out, man. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Try not to get banned on the first day. But yeah, here's military Black Hawk helicopter. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh shut up. No, I don't know that Trump sent the IDF into LA. That's hilarious. Sorry everybody. Here's a good place to start if you're reading about it. Yeah, it's this shit is fucking crazy. Stephen Miller saying we'll take back America. What do you mean, bro? How do you wake up with all that hate in your heart? I'll never figure it out. It's because you hate your wife. You hate your wife, and she's left you for Elon Musk. Say it. Somebody has to ask him, is the reason that you sent ICE into LA and then you're trying to send the National Guard and turn it into a hostile area, is it because your wife is fucking Elon Musk? Some comments in this live were filtered to protect community guidelines. I have I have the don't cuss at me in my comments turned on. Because you can get your live banned for the comment section, and I'll be goddamn if my live gets banned because of the comment section. So if you ever wonder why you comment and you don't see shit, here's your sign. So I want to make sure we share um, Ryan Hall. No swearing, got it. Yeah, don't get it twisted. You could, if you cuss in my comments, not only will I not see your shit, but you can't do that and get my live banned because I blocked it. Yeah. Anyway, so that's Live and Die in L.A. Tupac Machiavelli. I just want to point out, I've probably shared this like days in a row. Starlink is a massive security risk. Hey, Starlink is not something that you want to be buying. No. Starlink is that TikTok shut you down. Oh, TikTok is hostile to me. Uh-huh. I want Neptune or Skylight to have a go live function, and I'm off this fucking platform, y'all. Mm-hmm. Could not see me slide faster. Like I was this close. I talked with Fanbase. Yep, I was thinking about doing some shit. But it's a black owned, Fanbase is black owned, and they're looking for like musicians and shit. And I was just like, let's do musicians and shit over there. So I went to Clapper as a backup to TikTok. And that's not to say I don't love Fanbase. I just don't have anything to contribute that they need over there. Okay. Um, Clapper, and again, I've said this before too. Clapper is being widely embraced by the Latino and other brown people community. So I actually really like it. I think Indian people, and I'm talking about like India and Latino people, and wild senses of humor. Hmm. Much different than Americans. Hmm. I just want to point, it's not like simpler. That's certainly not it. Because you got to realize a lot of what we find funny in the United States is sterilized as it can be, right? Yeah, yeah. But here's Keg's breath, Heg Seth, whiskey leaks. Well, see, here's the thing, Boxcar. Lemonade's owned by the same by ByteDance, the same company owns TikTok. So if TikTok goes away, Lemonade's going too. So I know that's not great. That's true. So I I like the concept, what's Blue Sky is doing. Matter of fact, if you want to connect outside of TikTok, I don't have Facebook, I don't do LinkedIn, Threads, IG, WhatsApp, none of that shit. You can find me on Blue Sky, Likely Alien on Blue Sky. Okay. And the thing about it is I'm not branching out. So I'm going to be on YouTube live every morning from 8 to 9:30. Except for today, and we were coming back from a ban on TikTok and it didn't end until like 8:35. And I was like, "Well, I'm not going to go live for 35 minutes and then start a live or go live. Is that an app? Blue Sky? Yes. It is the Twitter replacement. They probably have more active users on Blue Sky than Twitter right now. Twitter's whew, yawn. Twitter is a shell of itself in my eyes. Which again, this is what happens. Good, Boxcar. Good. I'm glad that you don't. I like you better because you don't have Twitter. I hope you make friends that easy everywhere you go. I actually like it when people say, I don't have Twitter. Fuck Twitter. Hell yeah. We could be friends. I have rules. I have rules. If you say shit like, oh, when it comes to money, I don't care about politics. I would never, if I had children, you'd never meet them. I don't trust you. I hope that your life is very difficult and that you find it very difficult for people to like trust you and shit. When people say like, you gotta do what you gotta do. No, no, the fuck you don't. No, you can move. Mm-hmm. Morning. That's one of the things that has always bothered me is people are miserable and they stay in miserable situations when they absolutely could leave. Like Stephen Miller's wife, right? She made a decision. She was unhappy. She left. And now we have to deal with that as Americans. So thanks a lot, Mrs. Miller. Your happiness ultimately is more important. But yeah, Skylight needs to get their shit together. Neptune needs to get their shit together. If I felt like I had something to contribute, I'd reach out, but I clearly don't. That's why I'm telling people that I don't know to get their shit together. But I'm gonna look it up. Trump to send it if feel like. But just so you know, 2,000 of something is not enough of something. That's how you know it's bad leadership is 2,000 of something is not enough. Vance's wife should leave too, yeah. Jesus. What's the LA update? Second Battalion, Second Marines Weapons Company. I was in Camp Lejeune 20 fucking years ago. I was wearing it today because I wanted people to stop by, and that way I could say, "Hey, the President of the United States can." Yeah, my dog's running around. A German Shepherd and pit bulls. Uh-huh. Germans, in case you wondered, best dog. That is the best dog ever. I could cry. German Shepherds are the greatest. But I have brother and sister pit bulls, little ones. Like, what are they called? Terriers? Pibble terriers? Pibble. Hmm. Like little bitty, 60 pounds. Like Pam stands on my lap and shit. You know what I mean? Best dog I ever have. Two Germans. Yeah, yeah, great. It's like a person. Like having a German Shepherd as a pet is like having another person in your house. Hmm. No, I'll show you the little dogs. It's difficult because I'm a massive person. So when I take a video and dude, I'm way up here on everything, you know? It's like I gotta get down there so you can see how little they actually are. They're like, I mean, 50, 60 pounds is not little, but they're not full size pits. You know what I mean? They're a little smaller, 60, 60, 70 pounds. So yeah, I wore my division hat. First of all, I never ever felt a great deal of pride in my service until that March 14th veterans protest. When I showed up, there was so many veterans there already that I was like, oh, good, I'm not the only fucking one here in Indiana that thinks this is bullshit. Um, I guess Shepherd and Healer mix. So. But yeah, I think you need to hear somebody say like he can't operate by fiat. You know, he can't just say executive order this, presidential order that, and that be how we work. That's not how it works. And I keep trying to say that, and you're getting shouted down by people that are like, "Oh my God, the worst is happening. Oh my God." And it's like, it's not. But it's not. 2,000 National Guardsmen is not enough. That's how I know they're not doing shit. They didn't have real bullets in their guns. They had rubber bullets. How the fuck are you taking a job where you get issued riot gear and rubber bullets? If you say yes, get off my channel. What are you talking about? No. You quit that job. They're sending you into a city with 20 million fucking people with rubber bullets and riot gear for $23,000? I would rather have joined the military. Oh, you didn't join the military because, oh, you would have punched a drill instructor. Oh, that's why you didn't serve. Oh, oh, been told that my whole life since I came home from the Marine Corps. Oh, I'm too fucking tough for the Marine Corps. And it's like, you're a pussy. You're a whole pussy. Mm-hmm. Yup. I know women that are more of a man than you. Yup. That's, I mean, 23,000 a year, that's basically what you get paid on active duty. And if you're basically going to get paid what you get paid on active duty, if they're going to deploy you on a fucking whim, why not just have served, right? And learned about JJ Did Tide Buckle and honor, courage, and commitment, and learn about the citizen's oath and your oath of enlistment and how those are kind of similar. They both have language about protecting your country against all threats, foreign and domestic, and shit like that. I've long since said, violence isn't the answer. Violence begets violence. Hey, protest, boycott, and strike these motherfuckers. Get off of Facebook, Threads, IG, WhatsApp, Twitter, right? We probably need to get off TikTok too, but it's just a toxic relationship that we're all in. Speaking of toxic, it's Britney, bitch. This is for whoever got my show restricted. He's a boxer out of San Diego. That's awesome. I had a wild time while I was on active duty. Mm, mm, mm. This is the official TikTok song, by the way. Baby, can you sleep? I'm calling. Yes. The funny thing about Britney Spears is I can't take her serious as a musician anymore because she was on How I Met Your Mother. And I don't know if uh, this is the audience that my wife and I watch sitcoms over and over in this house. So we usually do like The Office. That's a hard watch, by the way, because I've had some bad leadership. So watching The Office is triggering as fuck. But we also watch like Parks and Rec, Community, How I Met Your Mother. So yeah, I have a hard time taking Britney Spears serious as an artist because I keep seeing her as the little receptionist at the doctor's office in How I Met Your Mother. By the way, one of your oppressors, his name is Peter Thiel. Never got into The Office, did get into Community, love that show. Of course, Seek that tracks. No offense, I guess. Um, what was I gonna say? Peter Thiel, one of your oppressors. What do those flags mean? Well, I mean, all the sass in the world, American flags, okay? That's a Colts horseshoe. That's the Purdue Boilermaker. That's a train, and that says Purdue. And then that's an Indiana Pacers logo. They're in the NBA Finals. These are, that's my alma mater, and these are the two teams I root for outside of, yeah. hmm Sporty Spice. Yeah. Yeah, I played sports my whole life. I wrestled, played football, basketball, baseball, soccer, tennis. I hate golf with a fucking passion. I think golf is for unathletic people. Golf is for people that can't run. And the thing about sports is most sports are running sports. And there's a reason why people play like golf and pickleball and shit like that. It's because they don't like to move. I like to move. But saying all that to say, hey, there's about 30 people here. I want to make sure that you're taking care of yourselves and controlling what you can control. Make sure you get 8 hours of sleep a night. Make sure that you're hydrating, eating right, and exercising. Control what you can control. And just because crazy shit happens in the world is not a good reason to stop. Nauseous Ambiance said, Morning, Jared. I've snuck you into work with me on my Bluetooth headphones. Because I know we have a tendency to like not be able to sleep when bad shit happens, but ultimately, unless it's literally on your doorstep, there's nothing you can really do about it, right? Try to stay in the know. Oh, Dina. The Office is one of those shows that you don't think it's great while you're watching it. You don't realize how good of a television show that is until it's over. And you've experienced The Office and that you've everything makes you fucking think about The Office. Trump was at UFC while it was going on. Yeah, I stopped watching UFC a long time ago. I was a big fan of Georges St. Pierre. He's Canadian. He's incredible. And then after he retired, I kind of lost all respect for the UFC. Really, it's okay. When sports go through these generational traumas where they're going from one generation to the other, and they don't age well, Because one of the things I know is like people have a proclivity to shit on their own thing. For example, I'm a big basketball fan, and I always have been. And one of the things that's always bothered me is all the old heads talking helly shit on players. And it's just like, did y'all have people sitting around talking shit on your game? So why the fuck you sit around talking shit on these players' game? Like you're not helping the game grow. You're not showing love to the game. And it is just a game. It is. Mm-hmm. It's just a game. So I look forward to people like Kevin Durant being a basketball commentator. I hope he takes Stephen A. Smith's job when he retires. Same with LeBron. I hope he takes, um, insert whomever, right? I just want to point out ICE is a bunch of pussies. They had to barricade themselves into a federal building until the LAPD showed up to bail them out. I can't believe Donald Trump posted that people shouldn't be wearing masks at protests when these motherfuckers show up everywhere with masks on. Yep. I just want to point out that Stephen Miller sent ICE to LA with rubber bullets and riot gear. Pussies, LARPers, wannabes. That's how I see ICE. They have no warrant. They don't even have real bullets in their guns. And I've seen ICE agents run to their car and get approached by someone and pull their pew pew on someone. And it's like, yeah, yeah, they're doing that with rubber bullets. Oh yeah, I watched them light up a protester. They shot some guy like 9 times in the chest and head, and he just stood there because he's wearing a vest and a helmet, and he just stood there and like looked at them and like rubber bullets. Y'all came all the way out here, did all that shit with rubber bull. It just tells you that they don't have the balls. Because when you see ICE show up, there's a reason they're showing up to deportation hearings because nobody's armed. They have no expectation of anybody being armed. And that's why you see them fucking arresting somebody in a hallway and shit, and it looks terrible. And you're like, yep, optically that looks terrible because it's tactically fucking stupid. Who gets into a fist fight in an elevator or a phone booth? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Yeah, keep up the great work, ICE. Yeah. They arrested a U.S. Marshal in Arizona. They've arrested American citizens and shit. Understand, I was just doing my job is not a defense. Understand that kidnapping and trafficking are international crimes when the person that you kidnap ends up royalty inside my DNA said I'm running for Congress in Arizona. Good. Go win that shit. I hope you're a socialist. I hope you're going to advocate for the well-being of your people. I hope that you advocate for universal health care, education, income, and housing. I hope you're pro equality and pro union. Matter of fact, go join a union. Fuck politics altogether. If we're gonna if we're gonna take our country back, it's gonna be through unions. Union leaders are just as powerful as politicians. I joined Work in America. Rah, Johnny B. If you are here illegally, you have no rights. Actually, that's not true, Ron, at all. Jesus. I don't want to know who you, I don't want to know you. Blocked. Yeah, if you are on US soil, you are entitled to due process. There is no way around it. Look at Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He will be afforded due process even though he's being charged with a crime. Mhm. So he's alive back in the United States, and yeah, he's gonna try it on some bullshit. He'll be exonerated. Don't worry. As I've said before, the justice system doesn't miss. And you may not like that. That may not sit well with you, but you don't get to choose. Okay? I just want to point out Donald Trump said masks are illegal at protest, but he's not talking about all his ICE agents and shit. Jesus. Hey, you might need to get your blood pressure checked. Blocked. That trash ass shit out of here. Jesus. Yeah, all persons deserve due process. We are all equal. It's a problem. In order for man to feel like he's accomplished anything, he has to see himself standing over another man, like standing on their chest. The good news is I don't need that to feel accomplished or like I've done something. I don't need to stand over another man, yeah, or kneel on their neck, yeah. But there are men out there that have done absolutely no thing out here LARPing for ICE for $23,000 a year in riot gear with rubber fucking bullets and non-lethal rounds. Okay. Now, understand that Donald Trump is trying to stand up the National Guard in response, and he can't. He can't do this without the governor signing on. The governor said the protests were nonviolent, as they should be. They should continue to be. So no, I don't see where the IDF is being sent into LA, although that would not surprise me, right? One of my people in my TikTok said they're part of a class action lawsuit because of Phoenix police response to protests in 2017. Yep. There's a reason we called this Justice's Waiting Room. Hmm. Yeah, I just be careful about who I support, you know. There's a reason we don't spend a lot of time sharing like Parnas's content. He's Lev Parnas's kid. I don't give a fuck who you are, but Lev Parnas was one of Donald Trump's right-hand men. That's who. A lot of people don't know that. Nobody cares. Trish said, "Yeah, I know." Mhm. Gonna make sure that everybody is nice and calm this morning. That you know that God, it's so tacky as fuck to see the police and shit militarized. Hey, just so you know, if you're on my live and I block you and you switch to an alt and come back, that's insane. That's insane. It's harassing me. It's wild. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you do that? I mean, I understand that you're obsessed with me. It's it's endearing. I appreciate it. I'm married and I'm not interested. And I love my wife. Hmm. And if you want to be my friend, we're gonna have a lot in common because I already have friends. But like, if you don't play video games or Magic the Gathering, it's hard to be friends, right? You can just be friends with somebody, and be nice to them. You know, Bob sent me a basketball. I keep forgetting to blow it up, Bob. Nobody's ever given me anything. Bob, did you know by sending me an unaired up basketball that you have given me more than my father since I turned 18? So thank you. But he gave me this Final Four from 1991 that says Indianapolis, a Final Four basketball. I'm gonna blow it up. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it once I blow it up, but if I do that, the dogs will eat it. So, but I know that it's easy to like me because I want everyone to have universal health. Hey, Bectrola, I want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. I'm pro equality. I'm pro union. I want you to protest, boycott, and strike these motherfuckers. Um, mhm. And understand that the President of the United States cannot activate and federalize a National Guard. It requires the permission of that state's governor. And the California governor said the protests yesterday were. It's kind of crazy that you've got like four accounts here or there. It's kind of crazy that you would do this. Semper Fi. Hey, that John Rambo came back the fourth time on late today. Yeah, I was banned from TikTok until about 8:35 this morning, and I was like, I'll just go live at 8:45 because it rhymed. Hey, it's just true. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, well, I'm not gonna go live for like 35 minutes and then go live on fucking TikTok. It was like, why don't you just go live about 8:45? Ha! It rhymes. Fuck yeah, let's do it. I was like, whatever. You know, you ain't hurt nobody. I gotta get groceries after this anyway. You've been live about an hour and 26 minutes. You go live on YouTube. Yeah, I go live. So we co-stream. Again, John, you're giving me more attention than my father has. I just want to point that out. I gotta play a song or people are gonna get emotional. Can you imagine if I had like a cool dad? Damn. Probably one of the baddest ass songs you will ever hear in your life. Completely unexpected. If you know who Joji is, you didn't see this coming. A bit of attention. Yeah, that's fine. Now would you hate me if I said goodbye so quick you could eat my dust? Would you hate me if I ran like hell in the wind from dawn till dusk? This shit's hard as fuck. Over boys you never like. Could you not be so obvious? So keep it light, keep it light. Oh, that shit's hard as fuck. Hmm. You did not see that coming. If you're like a Joji fan, when he put out Attention and he sang that, you did not see that shit coming. Joji's not like that, dog. I remember I remember reading the comments to that video and it was like other artists being like, "Holy shit, Joji." Uh the guy from the Chicken Wing show, I forget. A little bit of Eat the Rich here at the end. I probably should throw War because I don't think I did that. He puts the lotion in the basket. Hey, this should embolden you. Ice LARPing in LA should embolden you. Join a union, protest, boycott, and strike these motherfuckers. The only language they speak is money. About your poodles and your pills. About your way of life. To the fucking knife. Oh my god. 33 followers. Blocked. I'm not even a Democrat. I'm a fucking socialist. I'm the founder of the American Socialist Party, which means I'm pro equality and I want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. And I'm pro union. I even know what flavor of socialist I am. I'm a syndicalist, which means I believe in the strength of unions. Mm-hmm. Semper Fi. Yep. You can be a Democrat and believe in democracy as long as it holds. Yeah, I'm good with it as long as it holds. But I'm not a socialist Democrat. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Democrats uphold capitalism. I'm anti-capitalist. That's right. Even my day job is anti-capitalist. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Doesn't make any sense. But I think that we could all have universal healthcare, education, income, and housing if we just legalize cannabis and stop giving all of our fucking tax dollars to billionaires that are trying to fucking kill us all. And they're accelerationists. They literally are like, we're all gonna die. Let's speed up to that part. I'm like, some of us are gonna live for a while, and we should not fucking speed it up. I would never and won't advocate for. Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will. If you elect the right people. If you build a socialist party and you just start winning elections on having a proposal prepared for every policy position. And I know that that's borderline alliteration and it's too much for some of your brains to handle, but it's true. If you just have a policy that backs up every uh, position that you have, guess what? You're a fucking politician. Now it's just about getting fucking elected and finding a party that you fit in with. And I'm sorry, in the United States, there's the Republican Party, which every single Republican elected official took money from Russia. Our literal enemies. Our literal enemies. And in the Democratic Party, there's what's called the Blue Dog Caucus, which is 54 Democrats that vote conservatively. So if you ever wonder why all these Democrats are voting to confirm Donald Trump's cabinet members, look at the Blue Dog Caucus. They're probably in support. And I say all of that to say there's only about 600 jobs in the United States in the U.S. government as an elected official, and that I don't think the best person gets the job. And I think part of the reason that the best person doesn't get the job is that there's not a political party in the United States that represents the average human being, the average person or worker. And I keep hearing people say, like, we need a party and shit. Like, we already established the American Socialist Party, ASP. Our fucking logo is the Egyptian cobra because asp in Latin, aspis is talking directly about the Egyptian cobra. See, we actually have a rhyme and a reason. We did it. We did it. And then what I'm gonna do shortly is put up the money so that we can start fundraising. And it's all about money. And the good news is that I have a good job, so I don't actually need the money we raise to support me at all. I require no funding, and I'm not trying to run for public office. So I can just post the links. Y'all can just donate your money to this cause. And what's important is we hit thresholds, right? Oh, we raised $1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10K, hey, 20K, right? You're able to raise certain funds. You show people that, hey, we're able to fundraise for our party. And then what happens is somebody gets a wild hair up their ass. And somebody comes to me and says, hey, I know such and such. They should run for public office. They keep talking about how they're not a Democrat or Republican. And the good news is there's no fucking cost to join the American Socialist Party. There's not some crazy person behind a curtain pulling the strings. No, it's me. Now, the difference between me and fucking Curtis Yarvin is that I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm not only an Eagle Scout, I'm Order of the Arrow, which 1% of all Eagle Scouts get. I was also in the Marine Corps Infantry. I'm a Purdue alum. I have studied flight and data analytics. I'm a smart motherfucker. I just happen to have been in the Marine Corps. One of the better decisions I ever made in my life, by the way. Because there's plenty of people. Even my mother was like, I cannot believe you joined the fucking Marine Corps Infantry. Are you fucking crazy? No, no. The fight was coming. The fight is coming. The fight is here. I wanted to make sure I was prepared for that too. I will fall on the sword. It's me. I'm the I'm the greatest threat to your capitalist system. I'm an anti-capitalist. Capital kills people. Capitalism kills people. It ruins everything it touches. hmm Look at it. Look at your sports. Look at your sports. Capitalism's fucking ruining them. hmm And I'm a sports fan. Sports fan. Money ruined. Capitalism ruined comedy. I love comedy. Capitalism ruined that. They ruined the news. I mean, there's a reason we've been here every day going on 7 months with a growing audience. But yeah, that right there is why we're not moving really fast, Co. Me being a threat to their capitalist system. The problem I've had with most people is once they find out that I'm a socialist, they have no clue what they're up against. They don't know that I have written, oh boy, probably like 7 page, multiple page long, fully fleshed out, researched, collegiate level, A plus level work on socialism as it refers to the future of the United States from the time I was like 18, 19 years old. Like I knew that like we can't keep doing this shit because GI Joe made a movie about that already. Of what happens when you keep giving rich people money? Well, they get really fucking cagey and they feel like everybody's trying to steal from them, so they hoard all the fucking weapons and become weapons dealers even. And they'll have full blown wars going on all over the world just so everybody knows, don't fuck with me. That was GI Joe. That was a fucking cartoon movie, right? hmm Yep. But we need to do a lot of things, and we need a political party that's bent on them. We need term limits. We need we need to codify women's reproductive health. We need to codify fairness and equality in the LGBTQIA plus community. We need to return to a time where hating people for who they are is a hate crime, which I mean it still is. Like, sure. Anyway, I gotta go get the groceries, so it's kind of a anticlimactic ending. Appreciate y'all. By the way, we got restricted again on TikTok. Man, I can't even imagine what we was even talking about. Get me the fuck out of there. Yeah, not gonna lie. TikTok feels like a prison sentence. But I just wanted to point out, like, the president of the United States can't just like willy nilly send in the troops. So I hope that eases your fucking mind, if nothing else today. Like, he can't just willy nilly federalize the National Guard somewhere. He has to have like the aid of the governor. So obviously shit is fucked. But like, there's no fucking way. There isn't anyone in the military with any time in the military that's gonna give it all away to own the libs. Like, no. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So keep your head on straight and on keep your head on a swivel.